You know what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary? Just 2% of your day. That's 29 minutes. And yet, those 29 minutes can transform your life if you choose to educate yourself every single day. Because here's the truth. Most people don't fail from lack of opportunity. They fail from lack of growth, and growth is a choice. You know what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary? Just 2% of your day. That's 29 minutes. 29 minutes that can completely alter the direction of your life. If you choose to educate yourself every single day, it sounds simple, almost too simple. But that's where most people miss it. Because greatness isn't built overnight. It's built in the quiet, consistent moments when you decide to show up for your own growth. When you decide that mediocrity isn't your home anymore. The truth is, success doesn't demand your entire day. It only asks for your focus, your intention, your 2%. Think about it. You give hours to things that drain you. Social media, gossip, endless scrolling, mindless entertainment. You hand over your time to things that do nothing to feed your future. Yet, 29 minutes, just 29 minutes invested into learning, into expanding your mind, can do more for your life than an entire day spent reacting to the world. That's the difference between existing and evolving. The difference between being busy and being better. When you educate yourself, even for that small fraction of time, you begin to plant the seeds of transformation. Knowledge is not just power, it's direction, it's clarity. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when motivation fades. You see, the human mind is the most powerful tool on the planet, but it's also the most underused. Most people only use their mind to survive, to get through the day, to check the boxes, to repeat the same routines. But the ones who rise, the ones who change their destiny, they use their mind to create, to question, to explore. And that's what the 2% rule is all about. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about saying, today I will grow just a little bit smarter, a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser. Because the compound effect of small learning, done daily, is unstoppable. You won't see it right away, but one day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come, how much you've evolved, how unstoppable you've become. When you dedicate even a small piece of your day to education, you shift your identity. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop seeing learning as a task and start seeing it as a privilege. You stop waiting for someone to inspire you and start inspiring yourself. Imagine this: every day, while the world is wasting hours being distracted, you are growing sharper. You are feeding your mind ideas, insights, and wisdom that others overlook. You are building a foundation so strong that no setback, no failure, no rejection can shake it. That's the power of 2%. You don't need a miracle. You need a moment. A moment that belongs entirely to your growth. Here's what most people get wrong. They think learning stops after school. They think education is something you finish. But real learning, the kind that transforms you, never ends. The most successful people on this planet are not the ones who know everything. They're the ones who never stop asking, what else can I learn? They're obsessed with growth. They understand that every book, every conversation, every lesson is a new door waiting to open. And the more doors you open, the more powerful your life becomes. Because knowledge doesn't just fill your mind. It shapes your decisions, your mindset, your future. It gives you the power to see what others can't, to believe what others doubt, to create what others only dream of. Now let's get real. This isn't about adding something new to your schedule. It's about prioritizing differently. You already have the time. The question is, how are you using it? Every single one of us gets 24 hours. Some build empires with it, others waste it. The difference lies in how they value their 2%. That's it. If you can commit to using just a fraction of your day to learn, really learn, you will start to notice a shift. You'll think differently, speak differently, act differently. Because knowledge doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you are. And once that change begins, it's irreversible. You start craving growth. You start choosing books over noise, wisdom over comfort, purpose over distraction. You start realizing that every second you invest in your mind is a step closer to the life you are meant to live. That's the power hidden in those 29 minutes. You can either waste them or wield them. You can either let time control you, or you can control what time gives you. It's your choice. But remember this, life rewards the curious, the seekers, the ones who never stop learning. So don't underestimate your 2%. Protect it, guard it, make it sacred. Because in that 2%, you're not just learning, you're building the future version of yourself. The one who's confident, capable, unshakable. The one who walks into every room knowing they've invested in their mind. That's the person the world listens to. That's the person who leads. That's the person who wins. Every single day you educate yourself, you're proving to the world and to yourself that you refuse to settle for average. You're proving that your potential deserves your effort. And when you do this consistently, day after day, week after week, you will notice something magical. You'll stop chasing opportunities. They'll start chasing you. Because people are drawn to those who think deeply, who speak with clarity, who lead with conviction. That comes from learning, from expanding, from staying hungry for more. And that hunger is what turns ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. So give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself those 29 minutes. The world is moving fast, but your growth can move faster. Because the 2% rule isn't just about time, it's about transformation. It's about choosing growth when others choose comfort. It's about saying, I may not know everything today, but I will know more tomorrow. And that's enough to change my life. Educate yourself every day. The future belongs to those who learn. Winners aren't born, they're trained. And that training never stops. The moment you think you've learned enough is the exact moment your decline begins. Every person you admire, every leader, every innovator, every change maker, they all share one thing in common, an obsession with learning. They don't wait for inspiration, they hunt for it. They don't rely on luck, they rely on knowledge. Because in this ever-evolving world, the one who keeps learning never loses their edge. Learning is not a phase, it's a lifelong strategy. It's the discipline of those who refuse to remain ordinary. When you make learning your daily ritual, your mind sharpens, your perspective widens, and your confidence becomes unshakable. The truth is, the world doesn't reward the most talented, it rewards the most prepared. Talent without curiosity fades. But curiosity keeps you alive, relevant, unstoppable. You have to become obsessed with knowing more about yourself, your craft, your world. Every new skill you learn, every insight you absorb builds invisible power within you. It's the kind of power no one can take away because it's stored in your mind. Think about it. Trends change, industries evolve, opportunities shift, but the one who learns, adapts, and grows never becomes obsolete. That's why you can't afford to stop learning. You can't afford to be the same person you were yesterday, because while you're staying still, someone else out there is learning, growing, and preparing to take the spot you thought was yours. The problem is, most people confuse comfort with success. They reach a point where they know enough, and that's where they stop trying. But real winners, they don't stop when they're good. They keep going until they're great, and then they push for greater. They know that every book they read, every course they take, every mentor they listen to adds another layer to their potential. Knowledge isn't about ego, it's about evolution. It's about pushing the boundaries of what you can do and who you can become. You can either spend your life defending what you already know or expanding it. One path keeps you safe, the other makes you unstoppable. The choice is yours, and let's be real. Learning today is easier than ever. You don't need a classroom or a degree to educate yourself. You have access to the world's wisdom in your pocket. Podcasts, online courses, audiobooks, interviews, documentaries, every tool you could possibly need to grow is already within your reach. The question isn't, can I learn? It's, do I care enough to? Because the ones who truly care about their growth find a way. They don't make excuses about time, money, or resources. They understand that investing in their mind is the highest return they'll ever get. You can lose everything, your job, your possessions, even your comfort, but no one can ever take what you've learned. Knowledge is the one form of wealth that compounds without risk. But obsession with learning doesn't mean collecting information for the sake of it. It's not about knowing a little bit about everything. It's about diving deep into what matters most to your mission. Be selective, be intentional, learn with purpose, read to solve problems, watch to discover solutions, study to strengthen your weaknesses. The goal isn't to fill your mind, it's to sharpen it. It's to transform knowledge into wisdom, and wisdom into action. The best learners are not the ones who know the most. They're the ones who use what they know to make an impact. So, don't just chase information, chase understanding. Don't just consume knowledge. Apply it until it becomes part of who you are. And when that obsession becomes part of your identity, everything changes. You'll start seeing possibilities where others see problems. You'll recognize patterns before anyone else. You'll adapt faster, think clearer, speak with conviction, and lead with confidence. That's what happens when learning becomes a lifestyle. It builds a foundation that can't be shaken, and soon people will look at you and wonder how you seem to always know what to do. But it won't be luck, it'll be preparation, it'll be the result of countless hours spent learning when no one was watching. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who study, who seek, who stay hungry for growth. So, let the world keep scrolling while you keep studying. Let them chase trends while you chase truth. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else, but how you use them determines who you become. Make learning your obsession. Let it consume you, fuel you, elevate you. Because the ones who never stop learning never stop winning. Don't just live. Learn your way into the life you deserve. Be obsessed with learning, not for the applause, not for the title, but for the transformation. Every single day, feed your mind with purpose, because your future self is built on what you learn today. Keep evolving, keep expanding, keep becoming. The world belongs to those who stay curious and never, ever stop learning. Let's be honest, most people live their lives trapped in distraction. They know every celebrity scandal, every new show, every trending video. They can talk for hours about things that don't move their life an inch forward. But ask them what they've learned this week that made them grow. And there's silence. The truth is, we've built a culture that glorifies entertainment and neglects education. We chase comfort instead of clarity. We binge content that numbs us instead of consuming knowledge that challenges us. But here's the reality. Entertainment gives you escape. Education gives you elevation. One distracts you from your reality, the other transforms it. And the day you decide to replace entertainment with education is the day your future begins to shift. Every hour you spend on something meaningless is an hour stolen from your potential. Every moment you invest in distraction is a moment you could have spent building your foundation. You see, the mind is like a muscle. It grows with what you feed it. If you feed it noise, it stays weak. But if you feed it ideas, it becomes unstoppable. Most people think they need more motivation, more inspiration, more luck. But what they really need is knowledge. Because knowledge doesn't fade when you're tired. It doesn't disappear when life gets hard. It stays with you, fuels you, and gives you power over your circumstances. You can't binge your way to success. You can't scroll your way to mastery. You can't laugh your way to purpose. You have to learn your way there. When you start choosing education over entertainment, something inside you shifts. Your standards rise. Your thinking sharpens. Suddenly, mindless gossip and pointless chatter stop feeling interesting. You'll start craving depth. Books that challenge your beliefs. Podcasts that spark new ideas. Conversations that expand your vision. You'll realize how much time you used to waste on things that don't matter. And once you taste growth, there's no going back. You'll begin to see how the world truly works, not just how it looks on a screen. Because entertainment shows you stories about others, education helps you write your own. It gives you the tools to design a life that's not just watched, but lived. But let's not pretend it's easy. Replacing entertainment with education is uncomfortable at first. Your brain is addicted to instant pleasure. It loves the quick dopamine hits of a funny video, a new series, or a trending post. Learning, on the other hand, requires focus, patience, and discipline. It demands that you sit with your thoughts, reflect, and push past your comfort zone. But here's the secret. Discipline becomes desire. Once you start feeling the rewards of learning, clarity, confidence, creativity, you won't want to go back. You'll start waking up hungry for knowledge, the same way you once craved entertainment. Because nothing feels better than growth. And the more you learn, the more alive you feel. Think about how you spend your time. If you spend 1 hour a day learning instead of scrolling, that's 365 hours a year. More than 2 weeks of focused growth, 2 weeks that could make you an expert in your field, launch your business, or transform your mindset. While most people use their free time to escape, you could be using yours to evolve. And that's the difference between those who watch success happen and those who make it happen. Because while others are entertained by other people's stories, you'll be writing your own. The difference between distraction and direction is what you choose to focus on daily. You are not what you watch. You are what you absorb. And every piece of knowledge you choose builds the architecture of your future. Soon people will start noticing. They'll see the way you speak, the way you think, the way you handle challenges, and they'll wonder how you became so grounded, so sharp, so sure. But you'll know the truth. You traded noise for knowledge. You replaced distraction with direction. You stopped watching others live their dreams and started building your own. Because education is not just about books or degrees, it's about a mindset. It's about choosing to feed your mind with things that strengthen your spirit. And when you do that consistently, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting to life and start designing it. You stop getting lost in the crowd and start leading it. Replace entertainment with education. Choose elevation over escape. Choose progress over pleasure. Every moment you invest, learning is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. You are building something far greater than temporary joy. You're building a legacy of growth, intelligence, and purpose. Don't just watch the world. Change, be the reason it does. Learning isn't about collecting information. It's about expanding your perspective. Too many people confuse knowledge with wisdom. They memorize facts, repeat opinions, and call themselves informed, but they've never challenged what they believe. Real growth begins when you question yourself. When you ask, why do I think this way? Who taught me this? Is it even true? That's the moment your mind starts to evolve. It takes courage to unlearn, to admit that you might have been wrong, to dismantle the beliefs that once defined you. But that courage is where transformation begins. You can't reach your highest potential by clinging to outdated ideas. The people who grow the most are the ones who are willing to tear down the walls in their minds and rebuild them stronger, wiser, and freer. The truth is, comfort is the enemy of growth. Most people don't like to be challenged because it threatens their sense of certainty. But certainty is a cage. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. If you want to rise, you have to step into discomfort. You have to invite conversations that stretch your thinking, expose you to new perspectives, and make you rethink your assumptions. Growth doesn't happen in echo chambers. It happens in contrast, in listening to those who disagree with you, in reading ideas that conflict with your own, in exploring truths that make you uncomfortable. The moment you start defending your beliefs instead of examining them, you stop learning, you stop evolving, you become trapped in the illusion of knowledge instead of the pursuit of truth. Every great thinker, leader, and innovator had one thing in common. They questioned everything. They refused to accept things at face value. They didn't follow blindly, they explored deeply. They understood that real education isn't about being told what to think, It's about learning how to think. The difference between a follower and a leader is curiosity. Followers consume what's given to them. Leaders question it, challenge it, and refine it. That's how revolutions begin, not in the streets, but in the mind.